Hi there, I'm Peter Eastway, the editor of Better Photography magazine. This is the MyEizo series of essential post-production skills, and on this occasion I'm going to talk about removing those unsightly, unwanted white halo lines that you might find from time to time appear in your post-production. So what exactly are the white halo lines that I'm talking about? Well, let's show you. Let's enlarge this image up here. Just enlarge that right up. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to darken down the sky. And if I just darken down the sky a little bit, then that's okay. But if we come along and we darken down the sky a little bit more and we make it more dramatic, you'll see that there are these little white halos around the edges. Let me enlarge up a little bit more. You can see the little halos there. Now, if you're only doing minor adjustments, then you might not see the difference. It's not always there. But when you start to, you might be wanting a really dramatic sky, so when you drop it down, suddenly they are there. Now, if we look at the mask, see, the mask has actually been done with luminosity masking or a channel. It's quite a precise mask, but even so, even though it's precise, there's still that problem. And the little trick that I'm going to show you now, it's very suitable for this sort of a problem. It's not going to get rid of all of the halo lines that you have when you over sharpen an image. The trick there is not to sharpen the image so much. But on this occasion, we really want to get that sky looking dark. So for instance, I like that dark, moody sky, but as I'm doing it, I'm having problems with my lines around here, around the giveaway sign here, and we're going to need to fix them up. How do we do it in a nice, quick and easy way? Okay, so let's start at the beginning. We've got our photograph. We add one or multiple adjustment layers with a mask. That creates the problem. Now, I could flatten the image and work from here, but if I flatten the image and then I work on it, that's going to be destructive. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy up everything that I've done. So that's Control, Alt, Shift and E on a PC, or Command, Option, Shift and E for Eastway, on a Mac. And that will copy up everything. And you can see here, which says layer 1 there, I've got a new image layer. And that's the layer that we're going to work on. And if I muck it up, I can delete that and start again, start this process again, or discard it completely. So let's enlarge the image up. And often I find that when I'm working on this, I might enlarge up to maybe 200, 300, 400%, just depending what I'm doing. And I'm going to use the clone stamp tool. I'm also going to use the darken blending mode. So normally you're on normal blending mode. I'm going to use the darken blending mode. And then you can see here the size of the cursor. I can make that quite small. And I'm going to select the sky, and I'm going to select it very close to the white line that I'm going to paint. So I make my selection, and because it's on darken, it's only going to apply the copy, in other words the clone, to pixels that are lighter than it. And so as I come across here, you'll see that I'm darkening down just the white. But if I go too far, you'll see this little edge in the middle there. That was because my cursor, my mouse slipped a little bit. Let's try over here where it's a little bit easier and see if I can get it right. And we'll just come down here just on the edge, and I probably should lift off a few times rather than doing it. And as you can see, as I'm running down the bottom here, it is doing a great job of getting rid of that pesky, unwanted white halo. Now, I know what I showed you is almost too good to be true, and it is. Here you can see I've darkened down the sky even more, and so that white halo becomes also more pronounced. See what happens when I make my, come into here, I make my selection, and then if I come in close, because the sky is now darker than the sign, it's creating, it's not only darkening the white halo line, it's also writing over the top of the red sign, and that's obviously not wanted. I can go very, very close to the edge, and that might solve the problem, but then it's certainly easier perhaps than trying to paint it in, but I've still got an edge problem. So that's just a little warning there. There's always little caveats that you need to be aware of in Photoshop, and this is one of them. But even so, it's a really, really useful technique. Of course, all of this fine production, all of this post-production is best done with a good quality monitor, and I do use EIzo monitors, and yes, this is a little promo piece. One of the things that I mentioned last video was how much I really enjoyed the evenness of the image from, of the screen from one side to the other, from one corner to the other. But it's not, and I showed a simulated example about how, on some lesser monitors could be lighter on one side and darker on the other. Of course, we're talking about a colour monitor. It's not just how light or dark, it's also the colour balance. And you can find that, as you move an image from one side to the other, it's a little bit green there, it's a little bit pinky there, it's a little bit darker there, lighter there, it moves around. And so this is a simulation of a poor quality monitor. And that's not what you want. What you want is to be able to move the image from side to side, corner to corner, and there is no change in colour or density, tonality, lightness, darkness. In other words, it is completely even from side to side. And while this is a simulated demonstration, this to me is perhaps what's the most important aspect of my post-production, is just so how natural, how real, and how accurate the EIzo monitor is. And if I sound like I'm a little enthusiastic, well, I am. Anyway, I hope this little post-production lesson has been of some help. Cheers.